Hello, all, and welcome back to what may well be the season finale of the virtual table Coward's Call. I'm your dungeon master, the Grand Author. With me today are Mike, Frankenstein, and Eli as their characters Thorin, Dara, and Gunny, respectively. I must warn everyone right away that today's session may potentially be extremely upsetting and visceral in many aspects. I've been upfront about the fact that this is a horror-themed campaign, and today is when that truth rears its horrid head. To my players, if at any time you want me to pause in my description so you can have a breather, just say the word. To the rest of you, trigger warnings for graphic descriptions of extreme gore, spiders, physical trauma, self-harm, the death of at least one child, and potentially a lot more. You've been warned. Previously on Coward's Call, the party broke free from their entrapment at the hands of the evil necromancer posing as the town's priest, a man thought to be named Father Paul, but who it turns out was actually named George. Our heroes set a trap for him in turn, but as they were lying in wait to ambush him, the decrepit villain placed a powerful curse on the town's protector and the man who had brought them all together, old Coward himself. After a quick but harrowing fight, they put down the deceitful, unholy man who had been working to undermine and corrupt the village. As they were planning their next steps, however, the path of their fate was decided for them, as the son of the departed necromancer kidnapped Tristram, who had snuck away from the caravan leaving town, to try and lend aid to his hero, old Coward. Threatening the boy's life at night point, Jensen retreated into the Temple of Harmony, where the party attempted to talk him down. Unconvinced by their words, he set the temple ablaze and attempted to flee down a secret passage into the excavated caverns under Coward's Run. With quick thinking and a little help from his divine patron, Gunny put out the flames before they could grow into a true inferno, but in the confusion, Jensen still managed to drag Tristram far enough away that the party was unable to catch up with them in the passageways below the earth. Now, standing atop a vast gray stone altar dug out from the earth, brandishing that same golden knife and surrounded by bound teenagers stolen from their homes and families, the son of the false priest you slew is poised to begin his own dark sermon. He is not alone in this vast chamber, however. Lest you forget, hanging from webbing that glows and shimmers with a faint trace of magic, sitting fat and bulbous in its web, is the great arachnid monstrosity whose carapace you caught a glimpse of so long ago. Now fully awakened and fed with the blood of the innocents of the town, it twitches and weaves silently from its place on the wall, staring into you with its glowing red eyes. Nearly a dozen potential sacrifices, still and quiet, but alive all the same, are bound and branded with the same sigils you see marking the three unopened cairns and the large imposing altar in this chamber. Among them, Thorin, is your daughter Catelyn. To the southwest, on the cairn she is imprisoned atop, you see emblazoned a sigil of a cracked and blindfolded skull. To the northwest, a pair of mushrooms with roots that appear to wind and stretch as if in search of something. Marked on the northeast structure is what looks to be an ambulatory slime with spikes jutting from its body, and finally, on the vast altar in the center of the chamber, is a skeletal snake encircling the symbol for infinity, in the process of eating its own tail. Each sigil is depicted as being bound and buried in the same way that the spider sigil once was back in the crawling cave, and each is covered in lines and lines of dwarven script that read out desperate warnings and pleas to leave the things within alone, repeating over and over, echoing calls to flee and rebury the chamber from long dead hands that carved into these stones hundreds of years ago. The hostages, soon to be ritual components, are spread far through this chamber. Jensen is raising his knife and opening his mouth to speak, and the enormous spider watches you all from its place in the corner above its own former prison. All right, well then,
We're starting
the
off good.
players have formed some sort of plan on their own without me. I have no idea what they're going to be doing, and they have no idea what these characters are going to be doing. So
Man.
I will say this session is going to be primarily composed of an encounter, which we are not in yet. It's going to be in turn order, but it won't necessarily be a combat. It's a bit hard to describe.
Gonna be really
But-
something.
Oh, it sure will be. Time is frozen at the moment as we discuss things out of character. I just want to, set the scene, make sure everyone knows what's going on. I will say things are gonna be real intense today. And remember, your main goals, unless I am mistaken, are to one,
Blow up. And that's like,
survive.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you want to blow up and act like you don't know nobody, but also you want to survive. You want to retrieve the innocent children in this chamber, and then, if possible, you want to, stop Jensen from unleashing whatever it is in these cairns and, keep them from getting out. But you
Yeah.
also have had sort of a taste of what that big ol' spider is capable of, and it doesn't seem super likely that that one is possible.
Personally, I don't want to fight that thing
Mm.
anytime soon.
Yeah, that is again big point to remember here. This is not necessarily going to be a combat. I'm specifically using the word encounter. You
Okay.
don't have to, I'm showing my hand a little bit here, but you don't have to kill anything today, but you very well might die if things don't go well. And I'm
Hmm.
all right. So you know me. I'm a sucker for writing ways for y'all to get out of dying, quote unquote. But I'm going to be super upfront here. There are many effects that you're going to see that may appear at first glance to be something close to death, but that aren't actually technically dying. If you get knocked to 0 hit points and then fail your death saves, or if you take enough damage to go to a negative number that is equal or greater than your maximum hit points, you will be dead and you will not come back. So, don't let that
Okay.
happen.
So basically, my main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
Your main goal is not to
Yeah.
get blown up, honestly.
That's
Wait.
that's real.
And
So you're
considering your
saying the
party's
spider
track
can
record,
blow
that
me
might
up?
be kind of difficult.
I
You don't
think
know exactly what the spider can do, but you're scared because you don't know what the spider can do. I
But
mean, I won't
make
speak
it.
for you. Maybe you're not scared, but like, if I were in a room
I
with a
mean, I'm
giant
not.
magic spider, I would be.
I'm not exactly
Yeah,
psyched to see this big thing. So
Yeah.
darn, I can't pull this over. Big sad.
With that, if y'all are ready, we can roll initiative and start. This is an encounter. It's not a combat, but I am going to roll initiative just to, determine who goes when.
good old 9.
Trying to figure out what people are doing and what's happening. Felocial is still here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got $5. Felocio's dying.
Jensen's initiative. And then just pop him in the order. He does have a stat sheet, but it's not like finished and some of the buttons don't work.
That's fair.
It wasn't a priority.
I mean, considering Father Paul kind of wasn't supposed to die that early, that makes sense.
All right, so. Okay, Felocial's first, but because she's, controlled by me, I'm gonna say she sort of holds her turn and she's gonna jump into the order when someone like tells her what to do. Because she's
Well,
hesitating.
I
Talking
will
is a
say,
free action. Talking is a free action. Y'all can talk as much as you want. I will say Jensen was already about to start speaking when y'all came in. So if you want to go into speaking, he is going to have some stuff to say first.
Well,
Actually, it is his turn, so I will have him,
I
talk.
was gonna have my character say to Felocial to magic that boy. Because magic is confusing to me. Do a magic. Do a
Do a
magic now.
She sort of glances at the giant magic spider in the corner and is like, well, what
Magic
kind
the
of
boy.
magic? What kind of magic should I be going for here?
I'm not the wizard here. Magic the boy.
She's hesitating.
Coward.
Uh,
Oh shoot! Can we not
Hey,
say
Twitch
that
is
on
gonna
Twitch?
Twitch is
Yeah, I
gonna
had to say
ban you for that one.
gosh darny! I'm gonna get a ban.
yeah, apparently we can't. For those in the audience, apparently we can't use the word coward in our stream title.
Mhm.
That's considered
though it's-
against their moderation policies. It's the name of the campaign, but whatever.
I mean, can we
Calling
say it
somebody a
though?
coward, but
Still,
Jensen-
that's like
I'm gonna assume until proven otherwise, since we have been saying it this whole campaign, because it's literally a character's name, that is probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine to say, and we've also been swearing and stuff.
True.
I just wouldn't be like excessive about it. And I guess we can't put it in the titles or any of that, which is interesting.
Bogus.
profanity.
all right. That's enough making fun of Twitch.
Sorry, pardon my
Yeah,
language.
that's what's really gonna get us banned.
We're sorry, Lord. We're sorry, Lord Bezos. Anyway,
I love you, Twitch.
Jensen raises this gleaming golden knife in the air and says, "We have worked towards this for longer than you can imagine. My father has been digging these temples out of the ground for decades. We will not be stopped here."
You dirty little fiend. Do you think your father was doing something proud, something worth his legacy? No. Your father was a coward. Your father put innocent lives in danger, and if you don't see that that's what's wizard, what's the word?
Unacceptable?
Close enough. It is unacceptable behavior.
Evil.
Now the only hope you have left to even see the light of day again is if you repent and let these children be.
He kind of like gives
You're
a little
not-
smirking smile, nervous glance down towards the altar and says, "Huh, see the
And I
light
do
of
want to
day
be
again. That's funny." And he plunges the dagger into his own neck.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Gunny, it's your turn. Are you gonna do anything?
I'm confused now. It's not like I can really get there. I think I have magic.
We'll also say the entire altar is like stairs. It goes up. Obviously, he's about 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
There's not a specific staircase. It just all sort of is stairs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 'cause
like
it's
a pyramid kind of a
pillar.
deal.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
it's got steps all the way up. Yeah.
but star shape. I'm actually
Uh,
really proud of the altar and Cairn designs. I think they came out pretty well. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Just, you know,
could attack, but I'm
not ideal.
confused now.
you can pass your
Um,
turn. That's a thing you
and-
can do.
Gunny is confused and hurt himself. That's the best I got.
All right, Thorin, you got anything? Is that a no?
Just stabbed himself in the neck.
I'm guessing it does something to him, or he's like the first sacrifice to go and the spider will do the rest, but I don't know.
Like, yeah, who will do the rest of the...
Oh,
Or is there
Is
like
it the
mechanics
spider?
that
Yeah.
kill him? I don't know.
Let's see.
I
What
don't really want to just
would...
like let him die, but
To put in my character's perspective, I'm allowing him to free himself of life.
I mean, it's definitely some kind of magic.
That's what I'm guessing, but I want to
Figure was
see what the
really
kid turns
fancy.
into first.
I don't know if the kid's
I
going to
mean-
turn into anything. He might literally be the first sacrifice.
Well,
And
I
then
mean,
the rest of it
Well, I don't think
happens
he was
via
the
other
first,
stuff.
but you know.
Well,
that's still
the
turning
first-
himself
the
into a
first of-
corpse.
the first of this set,
Hmm.
I should specify, not counting the one that released the spider.
True, maybe.
God, I love putting y'all in situations.
I mean,
You do it so often.
yeah, my character's like freedom, but I don't know what happened.
As much as he's worrying about getting his daughter free right now, he is going to make a bolt
Yeah.
for the altar to try to stop this. One.
All right, so that's the dash action, right?
Yep.
You want a bonus action healing word, anybody? Or whatever other bonus actions you might have.
That's it. All I have is healing word to try, I guess, try to stop him from dying. Bonus action healing word.
It is a spell slot.
It is. That's why I'm debating it.
I mean, I feel like y'all have got to commit
javelins?
right now. Do you want to try to save him, or do you want him to die?
My character personally wants him to die.
Personally, I don't think it. He's
Thorin
just a kid.
Thorin kind of wants him to die, but at the same time, with him purposefully doing this right here, right now, he knows it can't be for anything good.
He's a brainwashed kid.
This is going to suck, but...
Okay. You
heals the wounds.
cast healing word and you bring this holy energy into the middle of this very unholy ritual, and he looks incredibly offended, which
I don't blame him.
we will continue down the turn order and see what happens on his turn. Dada, your turn.
Maybe do the thing, just in case something
Yeah.
else happens.
I mean, I'd do the thing, for the spider, but
I love how y'all
unless that's
came
the
up with a
thing-
plan and I immediately was like, fuck your plan, he stabs himself.
Well,
it
the
wasn't
funniest
that much
part
of
is
a plan. I only got Frankie's spell list today and looked at it while I was at work, and then kind of just
Yeah.
thought of something.
I forgot to do it
Now.
yesterday.
I just thought of something right as we were starting for one of their spells, and that's the furthest I got.
Well, no, the funniest part is because I have no idea what it was. I have no idea what the plan is.
There's no plan besides one thing to try to reduce casualties that we thought was going to happen, but now it's questionable on what's happening.
I definitely can't do it on the spider, and I definitely don't want to.
We'll
But I
hold
can
off
try and
on the spider for now.
yeah, I'll just let him chill over there, I guess. We were thinking about me entangling him,
Yeah. Oh, the kid?
which I mean,
And it doesn't seem to be running away,
Yeah.
so...
I will say he has made no move to leave the spot he is on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's
Yeah.
running.
And I can't
that
try to get
spell
up
does
there
not,
and shove yet.
and that
either,
spell doesn't
so.
do anything for hand movements because you can still attack.
Yeah.
does entangle work on a ceiling?
I'm gonna say,
I-
as dungeon master, I would allow you to cast it on the ceiling as just like terrain. I
Mhm.
don't think that's how it's supposed to work, but I'm gonna let it work that way.
But it
Mm.
might be walking on webs instead of the actual ceiling. I don't know what the fuck this spider is doing. I don't know how it's
No,
gonna
yeah,
work.
in the description that I said last time when you first entered this chamber, there is a like ceiling of webbing hanging slightly below the actual rock ceiling. In some places, it actually looks to be like holding this chamber together. There is no webbing on the floor here, but like the walls, the ceiling, all of it is pretty much all webs.
I guess aside from Entangle, Moonbeam is one of my farthest range.
No, Moonbeam! Moonbeam!
I'm just gonna use my turn to move closer, and that's it. I'll just do that. I can dash, but I don't want to dash, because then what am I gonna do when I get there?
Seeing you heading towards the altar, Manylegs is going to do something.
Okay.
You watch as his legs twitch and pull at the strands of his web, and these glowing blue filaments begin to shake and shudder and ripple this light of magic through the entire chamber as he casts a spell using his entire web as the magic focus.
Holy shit.
And the spell that he casts is Command on all four of you.
Great.
Because he has a 3rd level spell slot to burn.
Oh my
And
god.
the way he's going to use that is each of you must make a wisdom saving throw.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
It can't kill you, it's just going to, cause problems.
You
Yeah,
only do
yeah.
something
Tell
till
me
the
what to
end of your
do.
next turn.
The DC is 14, so everyone passed except Gunny and Felocial. Felocial, I rolled in Whisper Roll, so she failed. And Gunny, you heard a command in your head that was the chittering and skittering of legs. There were no words to this command, it was only the information of what must be done, which is approach. So you have to, on your turn, use your action to dash and use your full movement speed to head towards Manylegs, the spider,
Hmm.
Okay.
which is what Felocial did.
That makes sense.
Okay. I guess.
So back on
Is it my turn
Jensen's
again, or? Oh.
not yet. So back on Jensen's turn. He pulls the dagger out of his neck. This glimmering, flickering glow that alights it begins to shift as from the wound pours not blood, but a thin trickle of pale sand. As a voice that does not match his body, that is not his own, begins to echo out from his mouth. And he falls
come
to his
on.
knees and raises the dagger to the air in supplication as he shouts, "Awaken, great masters who have escaped the shadow of death itself, lords of the immortal kingdom of Samayaka, shepherds of this world to the great ascendants." The room begins to rumble and shake as the stones of each cairn begin to vibrate and pull apart. The sigils inscribed on each of the children, including inscribed on Jensen's forehead, begin to glow a deep red. Now it's your turn, Gunny, and you must use your
Epic.
action to dash and your movement to go towards the spider.
Epic.
Great. I hate so much that his neck was filled with sand. I hate it.
Welcome to the horror campaign.
Yippee!
Ooh, I have an idea. I have a wondrous idea. I'm not gonna tell anybody yet, but it's
That
a
is-
wonderful idea.
What's
That's
the
a
Grinch
wonderful
quote?
idea. That is your turn, right? A
Wonderful
deviously
Yeah, I
devilish idea. Thorin.
Seeing that that's already too far gone to do anything, I am going to go up to this child over here and try to break the chains to break them free.
Okay.
Not knowing. It's probably magically done to, but we'll find out soon.
So you say chains. It is a pair of manacles that is holding their arms behind the pillar. Roll to hit. Don't crush their hands. Okay, that hits. The metal like rattles and buckles, and they are definitely like they took damage. They are not broken yet. Dada, your turn. You got comatose children, you got a weird cultist child chanting with sand, and you got your friends being compelled to approach a giant spider in the middle of its web.
I don't know what to do.
I put you in a situation.
Is Jensen also undead?
From where you are standing, you can't see him. I'm guessing Thorin like explained to y'all, there's sand coming out of his neck, but like you'd have to look at him to be able to do a check to determine that.
Well, I don't really have time for a check, so I'm just gonna go here and then just cast Moonbeam on him.
Okay. Manylegs uses another reaction and twitches in his web and pulls at these strands, and the magic, as it leaves your hand and the beam begins to glow, actually gets pulled and ripped away from you and into this web as he casts Counterspell.
Son of a bitch, he has Counterspell. Okay, well,
So you still lose the spell slot, and that still took your action. You just did not cast it. I love having a spellcasting NPC. Sorry, I'm just reveling in my own evil.
well, does that mean that I don't have an action to check if he's undead?
Correct. You used it trying to cast a spell that didn't work.
Okay.
You still got a bonus action.
I don't know what I can do as a bonus action.
You could healing word him again. See if that does
No.
anything.
I don't think I want to do that now. I'll go over here to this kid, I guess, and just stand there.
All right. So, Manylegs' turn. Things have gotten a little out of hand, but don't worry. He has 8.
Wait, did you skip my turn?
No, you had to use your turn to move towards him, remember?
Oh, okay. Yep.
So,
Web walking. Doop, 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 doop. In a web, he has a lot of movement.
Wait,
He is
he
going
like
to
creating web while he
do
walks?
all of the walls and all of the ceiling is covered in his web already.
Oh, is he on the wall or the ceiling?
He's on the wall currently.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it would be more accurate to put his token there.
Yeah, no, that's why I was just a bit confused, but
Anyway,
no, that's fine.
It's, again, hard to express 3D space in Roll20.
Yeah.
The
I was
important
just
thing,
clarifying.
the important thing is that he has a spell action and a web action. So,
Damn, am I gonna get wrapped up again?
funny you should
You'd
say
think-
that.
You'd think it'd be my kink, but
Make a DC 14 dexterity save.
good.
As Manylegs spits this glob of glowing magical webbing that morphs into this net with fanged spider face in the center of it as a pattern that wraps around you and attaches to the floor and holds you down. You are restrained. And then for a spell, Manylegs once again like pulls at and twinges these different strands, and it causes echoes and ripples to flow throughout the entire room. And this time he's like plucking away at them like a freaking harp and making this noise of twanging strings as the light begins to shift and pulse in the area specifically over the altar. And these glowing tendrils of light begin to flash and burst above you two, Dara and Thorin, as Manylegs casts Hypnotic Pattern, a twisting pattern of colors that weaves through the air inside a 30-foot cube within range. The pattern appears for a moment and vanishes. Each creature must make a Wisdom saving throw. Hot damn. Dara fails. Thorin passes. Dara, you are charmed.
I'm
Uh,
enamored with this webbing pattern.
so yeah.
Never
So
seen
you are
anything
charmed.
so beautiful.
Exactly. You are staring up into these webs and their glowing patterns, and you cannot do anything else. You are incapacitated.
Yippee! All the way throughout until my next turn.
Felocial.
Do
What's
a
she gonna
magic.
do?
Do a magic fire. Fire magic. Burn the fucking creepy ass magic spider bitch.
She's going to move over to this side of you. And she's not, because Many Legs is on
Are
the wall.
you
She does
gonna
not get.
help me out? Like,
Yes, she's going to use the help action to give you advantage on your save to try to break out of the webbing on the next turn. She's like pulling at the edges of it and trying to get you out of there. And she has moved to the other side of you so that she's at least out of melee range from Many Legs at the moment. I mean, she wasn't in melee range exactly because Many Legs is on the wall, but that's a whole thing. Jensen is going to take his turn, which is to say that Jensen's turn is taken by something. Climb high, Many Legs, the spellweaver, Acheron of web. Rise and bind all things to the will of Semayaka. The impossibly huge spider before you is enveloped in that same deep red light that is shedding off of the children now, being pulled out of them. He seems to somehow grow even fatter and more round, sinking in his web, straining the fibers of it with his vast size as the markings along his back burn bright and his eyes flash with power.
man, oh man, I wish I was a high level
Gunny, you are
conjuration wizard.
restrained. If you want, you can make
It's
an
a
attack
strength save?
against the spider. Yeah, so that's at the end of your turn. You still have your turn.
Oh.
You just have no
Oh.
movement, and your attacks have disadvantage. You can theoretically attempt to
Let's
hit the
touch.
spider.
My main goal is to get out of the web, so I'm gonna get out of the web because I can't really do much else.
Make that
And-
save with advantage.
There it is, 17.
Yep. All right, you're free.
Yay! And I assume I have no more movement left.
Yeah, because it's the end of your turn.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right.
So,
All right.
Thorin,
Mm.
a lot of stuff has happened. Jensen or whatever is in that body there is continuing the ritual. Dara is charmed and hypnotized. Many Legs appears to be reinvigorated by the ritual and doing something to your friends. Not. I will again specify he has not moved to bite or kill any of you yet.
It's only had 2 turns yet.
It can do a lot with 2 turns.
Manacles again.
All right.
That's really one of the only things I can do in this situation.
Okay, that's a hit. Your weapon kind of like glances off the metal of these, and you feel like you didn't quite put enough into it to really damage the metal. The chain didn't seem to take much from that. Which is to say, who here's heard of a damage threshold? So these manacles actually negate the first 10 points of damage dealt to them within a turn. So, ta-da, your turn is skipped because you're hypnotized.
Yeah. You guys seeing these crazy lights up here?
Shit, that's right. There's no additional saving throw. That's right.
What makes sense here? So first, Many Legs will use its spell action to twang the web and pull off another 3rd level spell now that it's been reinvigorated.
Oh my
Dude,
goodness,
fuck
it
this
refills
guy.
spell slots? That's bull. Come on. And is this riddle me this. Is this thing a bard?
You have no idea. So
Well, it
Sorcerer or
requires an
something,
instrument
more
to cast
likely.
the spells, so
Gunny and Felocial must each succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
Oh damn. Not
Guys.
Let's make this roll public.
Wait.
DC 14, I believe.
Uh,
Okay, well, Felocial's fine.
14! And
Mm.
5. How much you bet? 5. Come on. Oh, darn. All right. I
All
guess I'm
right,
fine.
you two are
too.
fine. In which case, Many Legs is going to use that web action and
Where to
move
goodness?
off of the wall in order to get within range of Felocial, who will make that dexterity save.
Oh, crit fail.
Felocial like moves to jump out of the way and trips.
Oh, I was gonna say he bumps
Ooh.
off of me and falls back on the ground.
Ooh.
Yeah, like a cartoon character.
Yeah. Like, hey, yo, what are you doing?
Hey, Gunny,
Yeah.
you make a dex
Don't you
save too.
Oh, man.
As Felocial pulls on the webbing that she had been trying to tear away from you and potentially entangles you as well.
Oh, fun. Oh, fun.
Crit fails are great.
The dice hate you.
Yeah, they do. I've only made one good roll this entire session, except for maybe my initiative, but even that
All
was
right,
kind of
so
poo-poo.
you two are restrained, and Many Legs has more movement. It's gonna go that far, and then it runs out. Felocial will make her strength save. She has a -1.
Hey, if I can make an attack, can I
Oh my god!
another crit save? What?
I don't understand.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Is it a glitch?
really.
Are you just
That's.
continually rolling ones?
Hold on, let
Gotta
me
say,
throw a
just
couple
try-
more out
yeah.
there. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
she
Oh, you used a
legitimately.
bad one.
Just
I'm
the
sorry.
worst luck ever.
She legitimately got 2 nat ones in a row on the ones that actually mattered.
That is
Yeah.
That is so
absurd.
bad.
That's a rip.
Oh god.
And that's her turn. Well, she's restrained. She could theoretically cast a spell. What has she got? Honestly, nothing super useful.
I
Unless it's a
mean,
bonus action. It's action to get out.
It's Jensen's turn, which means I get to break out my spooky voice again. Come forth, Osteo, shattered sniper, Acheron of bone. Build and grow and crack the foundations of this realm into a great and powerful citadel of our immortal kingdom. That red glow from the children seeps down into the cairn upon which Thorin's daughter is bound, and that deep red light begins to glow out from the seams and gaps between the stones it is composed of. The sigil of the split skull burns bright as the whole thing shudders and cracks before, with a great explosion of rock and earth, a pillar of splintering bone pierces out from its depths and splits the entire structure open. Emerging from the wreckage is a horrific pale white figure, a skeleton unlike any you have seen so far. It has no joints or points of articulation at all. Instead, each time it moves, there is a horrible sound of crunching and splintering as it shatters itself into pieces and whatever force animates it. And then an awful hissing as it instantly calcifies back into one solid lump of organic stone. It is dressed in tattered scraps of cloth that dangle from the jutting, jagged spurs and spikes that extrude from every inch of its form, so twisted and mangled that it is hard to tell where the bone ends and the growths begin. Each rib in its cage-like chest is a mess of thorny, narrow splinters, and the most intact thing about it is the simple brown blindfold it wears over its eye sockets. Where the thing's bottom jaw should be, there is only empty air and more of those thin, fang-like spur protrusions, and in the middle of its forehead is cracked and hollow, revealing an impossibly deep darkness from which a blazing orange spectral eye leers out at you. Meet Osteo, Acheron of bone. Also, as he emerges and shatters this cairn, the children are like, and the pillars they are on are knocked away. And he takes center stage First, I have to roll his initiative real quick.
What saves are you rolling now?
Oh, well, someone here's afraid of bones.
Oh. Wait, there's bones in you!
I don't like when they're
Exposed.
out of me.
Yeah,
You're
exposed
made of
bones.
Teeth are exposed bone.
Didn't we face
What?
skeletons?
You're-
Nope, just well, we faced zombies.
You're afraid
That's
of
bound to have
smiles?
exposed
You
bone.
faced skeletons while I was in control of Dara, and I rolled for him, and he succeeded, so I didn't bring it up. But yes, so Asteo is not only a skeleton, but also an Acheron, and not only an Acheron, but also he is one solid piece of bone that is constantly shattering and reforming. And Dara, your fear is specifically of breaking bones and exposed bones. He is basically the incarnation of your fear. Boy, maybe someone set it up that way. And this
what
is
do
the
I have
time.
to roll?
Wait,
This
would
is the
Dara
time
even
to
make that
explain-
roll currently, considering they are
Well, it's on my next
hypnotized
turn. It's over. It's over on my next turn, which is when I would have to make the roll.
to hypnosis?
Yeah, wouldn't it be?
The
Is it?
No,
hypnosis.
Hold
it
on.
goes for 30 minutes, I thought.
I figured it was.
Oh, wow, yeah,
Really?
no, it's up to a minute.
Yeah, hypnotic
Oh.
pattern goes for a while.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
so
it was
they
just
don't have to
when
make
my
this-
next.
They don't make the save till they come out of hypnotic pattern.
Yeah.
All right.
How many turns is that?
A minute is 10 turns, so
It's been
Or
what?
until you're awake. Or till
or
you're
until
woken.
someone
Woken.
shakes you out of it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gunny, that just
Yeah.
happened, and also you're in a web. Again.
Epic.
I'll
Um,
keep track of it.
I guess I'm gonna try and break myself out, because I got nothing better to do. Ooh!
Damn.
out.
All right. With a nat 20, you actually tear the spider webbing off of yourself, and because it is still connected to Velociel's webbing as well, you free her.
Yeah!
The
Crit
power
success
of crits.
beats crit fail.
Yay! One
Uh,
crit. You gotta undo
Thorin.
the crit fail damage. The cringe fail.
Thorin, holy shit, so much is happening. I will say, your daughter has been drained by this ritual already and is now knocked to the ground next to one of the most powerful undead you have ever seen.
What? He's
Oh,
over
dang,
here?
is it? Yeah, I was gonna say it's over there? Dang. Oh, wow.
Asteo is in the bottom left corner, yes.
I just noticed that
Oh
now, too.
shit. Yeah, I thought he was gonna
Asterios.
come up from the center.
No. We've not gotten anywhere near the center yet.
Oh, goodness. Oh, I get it. The spider's the first, bone is the next, something else is the third, fourth, and then the fifth in the center is going to be like a super epic boss. So basically, kill the damn kid.
Kill him.
Sorry, do I need to be that one wizard that can predict the future again?
What do you do, Thorin?
Jory,
He-
not answering me, not acknowledging. Damn, I love predicting shit. It's fun.
He is now extremely mad for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And is
Oh,
not in
shit, just
sound
killing the
mind
kid-
and instead charged straight for I'm brain farting on names too now.
Jensen.
Jensen.
And give him the smack. Or try to,
Good.
and probably
Piece
fail.
of your
Although
mind.
also
You miss.
Yeah.
I will also say, as you bear your weapon against this praying child, you hear shattering bone and a twang. And as you look back towards the cairn, Asteo extends his arm and his... Fuck, I just looked it up. What are the arm bones called?
Forearm, or do you mean the metatarsal?
No. Radius and
Um,
ulna.
No.
Yes. So his ulna bone actually like pops out of the socket that connects it to his radius. Humorous.
They're his Yeah, his humerus, his elbow.
His
I
ulna
don't
pops
find this
out
humorous.
of the. Well, it doesn't have a socket, but it shatters out of the humerus bone and it extends upward in this jagged spike. And then his radius actually snaps completely in half, and part of it extends downwards towards the ground in this arching spur. And then the tendons from within these two bones extend and tighten and become a taut bowstring as he rips one of his own ribs out of his rib cage and pulls it back, knocking it like an arrow that he levels towards you. So yeah, Dada, you're still hypnotized.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Bonus action Shield of Faith, seeing this.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Because Blind Rage is making angry, but it's also not making me want to take a fucking hit from that, and also switching to one-handed to bring the shield out back up.
Yeah, makes sense. Dada, you're still hypnotized. Manyleg, seeing that the ritual is like really kicking off, is actually going to dash back to his spot on above his little cairn that he has broken out of.
Oh.
At which point Osteo is going to, do that thing. Yeah, you're within range. That's a 23 to hit.
Wait, isn't it disadvantage on a elevated surface?
His cairn is the same level as the altar.
Also,
Oh, he's up on top of it. Okay.
Also,
he emerged from a pillar of bone onto the top of it. Yes.
That was kind of more of a Baldur's Gate thing too for the video game.
Oh.
But yeah, so he shoots one of his ribs at you.
So
it hits.
Funny story. I may have increased my AC by a decent amount, but yes, it hits by.
Interesting.
It hits by 2.
The Acheron's rib explodes into a hail of bone splinters that pierce nearby creatures, but in this case, that's only Jensen. Each creature hit by this.
Am I also nearby?
No, you're not within melee range.
Not within 5 feet.
Make a dexterity save that Jensen automatically fails because he's incapacitated. So you take the 10 piercing damage. The 5 piercing is actually dealt to Jensen as these jagged splinters of bone jut into his skin, and more sand begins to pour out of him. Thalosiel has a turn. She doesn't know what the fuck to do. What can she do at this distance?
The magic missile?
I guess. Yeah, I guess at this point you're attacking Jensen. She's just gonna go for it. She's gonna cast Jim's magic missile. Okay, she gets 1 hit. It deals a bit of damage as it like pelts into the side of his face, but he does not seem to really. Hold on, 5 plus 3. Yeah, no, he does not seem to be like too phased by it. And now it is his turn, upon which I think I'm just going to finish this turn for him, and then we're going to go to break.
Okay.
Rise, fasciitis, walking plague, Acheron of rot. Lead our armies against the fools who will crumble and waste away before your might. Again, whatever power is being drawn from the children is fed into a cairn, and the entire cavern shakes with a minor quake as a burst of foul-smelling air, thick with dust and spores and all manner of disease, rips out of the northwest prison, top left for those of you just watching the stream. Surrounded by a haze of spore-laden miasma is a shambling pile of flesh that lumbers to what passes for its feet, every part of its movement seeming wrong. It has extremities that end in toes and that are under its torso, but calling them legs would be a lie, for they do not hold that shape well. Boneless lumps of muscle and skin that sag and wobble, covered in growths of all manner of rash and mold and fungus. The things keeping him up are mercifully obscured from too close of scrutiny by the skirt of moldering tendrils of rot that hang from the part of its body that most approximates a waist. The only thing giving its torso enough shape to remain describable is a spiderwebbing lattice of calcified growth, and instead of arms, there are merely more rotting tendrils hanging from one shoulder and a collection of fungi with razor-thin roots hanging low from the other. The head of the thing, lumpy and misshapen and barely human, with only thin, wiry black hairs interrupting the sickly purplish, splotchy skin, stares blankly at you all for but a moment before it splits open into a grotesque flower, revealing the whole thing to be hollow, with its petals of spasming flesh dancing around two jaundiced yellow eyes that whip about on what remains of the veins and nerves that once connected them to a now missing brain inside an absent skull.
Jesus Christ.
That's a mouthful.
Hold on, let me reveal him. I've also got portraits for these guys that I'll show you in a second.
I would love to see him.
And kid gets knocked down to the bottom of the cairn.
Ah!
Yeah. And
Huh.
then,
That's actually not
You
as bad
can-
as you described it as.
well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to
Because your description
articulate
was
that
like,
description. And then you've already seen, of course, many legs.
My favorite.
I wonder why it's named that.
Show to
Mm.
everyone. It's got many legs. It's got a little spiderweb design on his skull plate thing. I don't remember
Very
the name
nice.
of it.
I'm
Carapace.
glad that I'm not afraid of spiders.
Do I have a picture for Asteo?
Yeah,
I have
no,
a
that's what I was.
sketch, but apparently I never finished Asteo's actual portrait.
Damn, that's a lot of bones.
Yes, he's all bone. All right, we'll be right back, everyone, for more character reveals. So it was brought to my attention that someone needs to make a concentration saving throw. All right,
I'm good.
you pass. With that, Gunny, it's your turn.
For what?
It's your
Like
turn.
to go?
It's just your
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I cast
What else
protection
would it
against
be
good and
for?
evil.
Okay. You've still got movement.
I know. I'm just getting my shit together. I want to say I can move to there.
Well, Thorin, you've had a lot of thinking.
Thorin is gonna try one last thing before drastic measures. Anyways, I'm going to try to knock the dagger out of his hands and like knock it away down the stairs, hopefully.
Okay. So D&D doesn't really have a thing for calling your shots. What I sort of do as a dungeon master is I declare a higher armor class for choosing to attack a certain part of a certain monster. Other people do it differently, but that's how we're going to do it this time. So you don't know what Jensen's armor class is, obviously, but whatever it is, plus, we'll say it's his hands. It's not like an eye or something. So just plus like 3.
Roll good, roll good. Come on. Yes! Please be good. Enough.
All right, yeah, that hits it. With that, yeah, you bat the dagger out of his hands, and I'm gonna say Jensen rolls over to the side, and that sand slows as the dagger clatters over to that end, and it is like resting sort of half on the stair, half off, but it is resting, and Jensen is on the ground.
I am going to rotate myself in between him and the dagger as well and say, someone get a hold of him.
Ta-da, you are still hypnotized.
And
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Manylegs pulls and twists at these webs and sends out this echoing twang of the webbing into the minds of Philocial and Gunny, because they are standing close enough together. Make me that spell save. All right, Philocial's fine. So yeah, you're both fine. And he can use a web action, but he's not within range, so I guess that's all he does. Asteo's turn. He's real pissed that y'all are doing this, but he can't leave the cairn, so I guess he's gonna fire another arrow.
Can't leave.
Yes, that glowing red energy that like ripped him out of the cairn is still flowing around him and the cairn itself, holding him in place. So
That's
he is
useful.
so he is going to fire at Thorin again. Jesus
What the
Christ.
fuck?
Remembering that you only take the first bit of piercing damage. Oof. Not good. Felociel's turn.
My hair, get out of
She's
my face,
gonna
please.
try to get up there to do some 15, 20, 25, 30. She's gonna try to like do some magic. What spells has she got? Yeah, all right. She would stay at range here and fire a ray of frost. Hits. Oh damn! That is the highest that ray of frost has ever rolled. That is max damage.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That actually. Okay. You watch as Jensen's body starts to fall apart into sand.
Wonderful
Cool.
news.
So it's the dagger's turn. Now that
What?
its host is dead, what's it gonna do? Thorin, make me a charisma saving throw with disadvantage because of your whole situation. Oh yeah,
Oh,
he got a
nice.
work call. Sorry.
That's right.
So did you miss anything, or were you just muted?
I missed stuff. I see
Okay,
that he
so
went for dagger
Felociel
again.
Felociel destroyed the corpse of Jensen, which had been dead, yes. And now the dagger is taking its turn. And without a host, Thorin, I need you to make me a charisma saving throw with disadvantage because of, your whole thing.
Hmm.
Great.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even see the.
Oh.
That's double
Um,
great.
So Felociel, because no one else is present who can, or no, I guess Gunny can see from his angle. Felociel and Gunny watch as the dagger snaps through the air and into Thorin's hand, and Thorin goes like that blank catatonic state that he was back in the crypts, and oh boy, I get to do a bit of a Duggar or a bit of a Thorin accent on this one.
Mm.
Surge tall coagule, crimson tide, Acheron of blood, wash this realm clean with your holy flood. Before Thorin, it says Jensen in my script, but before Thorin is even finished speaking, a great cleaving crack echoes through the chamber, and a fountain of dark red begins to spout in high-pressure bursts from the seams of the rocks. Unlike the others, this Acheron does not need to destroy its cairn utterly to emerge. Instead, it oozes and flows through the tiny gaps between the stonework that have formed from the many quakes echoing through the whole chamber from its companions' entrances. The liquid whirls and morphs in the air before your eyes, spinning about and shattering the columns of the structure as it collects into one large glob that takes shape as the children whose vital force it drank to awaken are sent clattering to the ground unconscious. Squelching and rattling through the largest opening in the cairn are several long, thin, hollow, and sharp bones, along with a collection of human organs. They take their place in the main body of the large blood ooze, intestines coiling and lungs warbling with gel-logged breath. At the center of it, housed between its lungs and with piercing bone spikes radiating away from it, is a yellowed heart that beats rapidly. Opening in the core of the heart, staring out at you all, is a bright green glowing eye. He is large, and allow me to show you what this boy looks like.
By the way, Gunny, just as a reminder, there's for sure a way to stop the ritual, and then there's a way to stop Thorin. If you don't remember. Or something that should stop Thorin, I would believe at least.
Yeah.
I don't
the
think
bloody
that actually
boy.
work.
Oh.
Or you're thinking of that. But would my character know that?
That's a good
actually
question.
a great question too.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I
No.
want to
learned
say
that.
we retracted that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
part
no.
of retraction.
In this
never mind,
timeline, y'all
You're
have
just-
no idea what the little urn in
In
Gunny's
this
possession
multiverse,
does.
filling
Thorin,
in the
repeat
word.
your charisma save. You no longer have disadvantage, but repeat your charisma save.
Oh boy, the thickness isn't really
That's not good enough.
telling.
That isn't. Yeah.
Oh, doesn't
No,
really
it's the
show
composition.
how strong it is.
That's the composition.
I
Someone
believe that's
please help
4
me.
turns. I believe that's
Yeah,
4 turns.
I'm keeping track.
Good.
I've got a tally.
So Manylegs is still stuck in his corner. What can he do from the corner? That's me in the corner. That's me with
Sneaking
all the
butt,
legs.
butt.
I mean, he can really only use command again, just on Gunny this time. So repeat me that wisdom save, Gunny.
Epic. Actually, hold. And it's not a charm.
It is, but he's not undead. Or no, wait, he's not. Okay, what?
No, it's
creature
just
is this?
charm. Being charmed. It has nothing with the creatures. It's just
By
being
them.
charmed. It is by them.
It is by
Swear to
them.
God, do I have to look at the description again?
The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Frightened or
So what does
possessed
that?
by? Oh
What
shit!
does that
All right.
include? Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, undead. Manylegs is not those things. All
Darn.
right. Roll that wisdom
All right.
save.
All right. All right. Critical fail. Let's go. Come on. Come on. We got it. We got it. Darn. Not a critical,
mean-
but still a fail.
Yep. He's going to use approach again. So on your turn, you have to move towards him. He's just going to keep bouncing you between himself and the main altar, so you can't do anything. That's all he can do.
Yeah.
Coagule. What can Coagule do without moving? Coagule cannot do anything without moving, so his turn is pointless. Okay, at this point, Osteo has noticed what's going on with Thorin and is just sort of like, all right, and lowers his bow, honestly. His arm bones. Felocial.
Arm bone.
Felocial. What is Felocial gonna fucking do about this?
Let me see Felocial spells. Swear to goodness.
Isn't Felocial afraid of blood?
Felocial is afraid of rot, so
She's gonna have to make a
she
save.
can't. Yeah, she can't get any. Well, let me
Oh,
make
shit.
that save.
Do the save, yeah.
I'm gonna do it privately. Okay,
Oh,
it didn't.
that ain't-
She passes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just don't.
It'd be like
Yeah.
that sometimes.
All right. Real quick before you go to the restroom, Felocial is going to try to wrestle the knife from your hand, Thorin, unless you're already gone. Yep, he is. Damn it.
Well,
Yeah, I need him to make a strength check, so.
yeah. I mean, you could potentially roll for him, but that's.
Yeah, I
No
guess I
problem.
will. No, I mean, I want to keep the game going, so I'll do that and fill him in when he
Okay.
gets back. Because it's not like he's actually doing it; it's the knife doing it for him with his body. Oh, he's got
Yeah, true.
good athletics. That's not looking good for Felocial. She has a -1. He has +3. Okay, well, he rolled bad, so maybe Felocial will get a crit, and we'll see a incredible upset here. No, no, she won't.
No. I mean, not that much worse than 11, but still.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Fasciitis. What can Fasciitis do? That is entirely melee. All right, Dagger's turn. I'm gonna wait until Thorin gets back for this one, because this is the big one.
Man. Can someone please make me not hypnotized anymore. I don't want to be out for 10 whole turns.
It was
Give me a
really.
minute. I have yet to
Yeah,
even
Gunny is
reach the
also
altar.
under an effect.
Yeah.
I.
That I cannot
Oh my
negate.
god, everyone in the party is under an effect.
Mm,
Except Felocial, but it's.
only a matter of time. Oh god.
Jesus Christ, these things have so many effects.
You made them.
Well, I really didn't expect you to try to openly fight them.
We weren't fighting them. I just wanted to get to the kid.
All
You're
right,
the one
that's
who
fair.
initiated the ritual.
Technically true.
What else could we have done?
You're back?
Yep.
Okay, so while you were gone, Felocial tried to take the dagger from you by force. The dagger forced you to combat that, and unfortunately, Felocial failed. So you're still under the dagger's control, and it's now the dagger's turn, and it's going to use your body to, well, finish the ritual. I call upon you now to break the seal of your leader, unleash the devouring desert, and together unlock the path to Semiaka, the way towards ascendance. Each of the 4 Acherons face the central altar. Manylegs splays his legs and closes his eyes, raising his abdomen high as a pulse of bright red light flows out of him in a wave, spreading into the vast web that spans this entire chamber. Asteo kneels low, bowing his skull with a creaking, splintering series of cracks, and the infernal eye peering from the darkness in him widens and burns bright, releasing another wave of red energy into the webbing from his corner. Fasciitis merely raises what pass for his arms and spreads the petals of his face wide, blooming in his macabre way and unleashing a swirling cloud of glowing red motes that begin to cling to the web near him. And finally, Coagule shudders and begins to compress, the bone spears jutting from his form, pulling in for a brief second before he vibrates violently and pops, sending a spray of glowing blood onto the web covering the walls around his cairn. The puddle of organs and fluid that was left quickly swirls back into the shape he held before, though it is considerably smaller. And yes, Coagule actually loses a size class and is now medium. That is the dagger's turn, and we're going to continue. I will say the ritual is complete.
And whose fault is that?
I don't know. No one's. Gunny, you have to use your turn to move towards the spider.
Oh, with it using... My brain blanked for a bit. With it using my body for it, am I at 0 then?
No.
Is there
You're possessed. It's
there an
weird how
amount I
that
took?
layers. You have not taken any damage, no. It's not sapping your life force. You didn't stab yourself with it. It is your turn. You can repeat that charisma save. It's a little late. Just under. I'm gonna say the DC was 14. Dara is still hypnotized.
Please save me.
Manylegs is no longer bound, but now that the ritual is complete, he looks down at you, Gunny, and then just sort of disregards you and sits patiently in his web. Coagule similarly passes his turn, and Asteo remains bowing. Felocial, seeing that, like, shit, it's broken bad, goes over and finally shakes Dara out of it. So good news. You are no longer hypnotized.
God, what the
Bad
fuck?
news. You look around, all the Acherons are free except the, big one, and Skeleton. So now, finally, I get to reveal the phobia mechanic to everyone in its entirety. You already know most of this. Each player has at least one phobia. Whenever that player witnesses something, be it a creature, an object, object or even simply a particularly convincing illustration that represents that phobia, they must make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, asterisk. On a failure, that player becomes frightened of the perceived source of their fear. They may repeat the save at the end of each of their turns in combat. Upon a successful save, the player is no longer frightened, and they become immune to this effect for 24 hours, double asterisk. If the object of fear is a creature with a CR higher than the player's level, subtract the player's level from the CR and add the difference to the DC of this check. If it's a creature with a CR lower than the player's level, subtract the CR from the player's level and subtract the difference from the DC of this check. If there are multiple creatures that count towards this effect, add their CR together for the purposes of calculating DC. When the player succeeds on this save, note the CR of the creature they save in relation to. If they encounter a new source of fear with a CR higher than the previous success, they lose this immunity. Images, illusions, and objects count as CR0 for the purposes of this effect. As you, a level 3 character, look at Asteo, you have to make a save with a challenge of 18.
Wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good thing I have 5.
Damn, yeah, you pass.
Oh my
This
god.
thing is fucking terrifying, but you have other things to worry about. You have to, well, it's kind of too late to stop the ritual, but you have to save the children at least. Fasciitis does not care about you. Dagger's final turn. Hear me, great Lefarzai, serpent of sands, devourer of decay, head Acheron of Semiaka. Take this sacrament offered by your devout servants and bring forth your great immortal kingdom. At this point, Jensen would, fall to the ground and turn into dust, but he's already done that. The waves of red light trapped in the spider webbing above you swirl and shift into the center of the chamber, coalescing into a single point. Instead of growing brighter, the red light becomes deeper somehow. So intense it is hard to look at, but not in the usual way light would be, and then it falls, like a tear or a single drop of blood glinting in its own internal light. The moment before it makes contact with the altar seems to stretch, taking a small eternity before it finally plink hits the stone. The room falls dead silent. Without noticing, you each stop breathing. There is an uncertainty palpable in the stale air where you can feel the worry that something is wrong welling up inside of you. That feeling twists and darkens in your hearts into the certainty that something is wrong, something incredibly horrible is happening. A fundamentally unnatural thing that shouldn't be. The aura of something absolutely blasphemous to the natural order is washing over each of you in waves so thick you are drowning in them, still not breathing, your lungs burning as the ground begins to shake. The whole world collapses into a screaming, rumbling explosion of earth and shattering rock. Your senses fail you, overwhelmed by a nauseous instability that makes it impossible to process your surroundings, leaving you with the empty sensation of roaring wind and rock hitting rock, crumbling walls and shattering cairns, the world tilting and listing under you before throwing you abruptly into the air, divorced from gravity itself. And then it stops. Each of you gasps for air, and you find yourself standing exactly where you were standing before the drop fell. Not a single second has passed. The altar is whole and unbroken. Everything you felt was not an illusion per se, but a series of feelings and emotions separate from physical reality. And then you see it, pouring out of the seams of the brickwork between the altar, falling to the ground with a gentle hiss. Thin, pale sand that slips easily through the tiniest gaps like liquid. At first, there's only a small trickle, but it soon grows into a great outpouring deluge that spreads across the floor of the entire vast chamber. The air becomes impossibly dry, and you each feel suddenly thirsty. Without warning, one of the large stones making up the altar drops down, falling into the now empty hollow under it. Then another and another, as each massive carved boulder falls, though there is no sound of it hitting anything below. Instead, rising out of the holes created this way are coiling trickles of sand, pouring like the grains of an hourglass up to the ceiling. The sand scattered across the floor is suddenly whipped into the air, blasting each of you with a gust of wind that wasn't there a moment ago and spiraling tighter and tighter around the chamber until finally collecting into a tall pillar of a sand twister at the center of the altar. Glinting between the grains, you see flashes of gold before suddenly the top of this twister splits to reveal a figure that wasn't there before. Dry, mangled flesh covered in sparse, bleach-white scales in the vague shape of a hooded serpent peer eyelessly with dark, empty sockets down at the pile of dust where Jensen once stood. The huge, mummified snake head is adorned with golden jewelry, including a necklace that covers the portion separating its scales from dark, shriveled human skin. A person's chest and arms, though almost unrecognizably dehydrated and decayed, are wrapped in loose, stained yellow bandages before a scattering of more bone-white scales, almost like a rash, grow more dense towards his abdomen and waist. Instead of thighs or legs, the figure's body falls apart into that whirling, twisting storm of sand and scales, though now you can see a trail of bones like the skeleton of a huge snake writhing in the sand too.
Great.
The living corpse, Lefarzai, lets out a terrible hissing whisper, like the voice of a snake and the sound of the vast dunes of sand churning in a faraway desert. He leans down and pats the dust where Jensen once stood. Rest, child. I have seen all that has transpired here. Do not worry. I will guide you to the immortal kingdom. Death, my child, is only the beginning. He says in a whisper that the entire room can hear as it echoes through the sands in the air before the dust of Jensen's corpse begins to twist and churn, coiling and being torn into pieces into the churning maelstrom of sand that is Lefarzai's body. And then he is no more. Lefarzai straightens up on his sandstorm tail as the blood well, he doesn't have blood anymore. Damn it. As the sand joins his own body, and he groans with satisfaction from his meal. His flesh ripples and roils, dissolving into sand and reforming over and over as he is revitalized, his scales brightening from their dull matte shade to a gleaming iridescence, and his skin inflating into a lush, tan, muscular torso. He cackles as one of his eyes grows back, the other socket remaining hollow but glowing with a deep red light of pure, vital energy. The cloth strips that had been draped across him are now taut, and in fact a few split within as he regains his former glory, revealing his left shoulder and the tattoo printed into his flesh there of a skeletal snake wrapping around the symbol for infinity, about to devour its own tail. And that is where we will leave you tonight.
Thank you all for watching. And please, if you like what you've seen so far and you want to help us continue the story, tell a friend you think would like our weird little adventure. If you're watching this live on Twitch, you can follow us for notifications on when we go live. And if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, hey, did you know that we record these live on Twitch? Also, if you like the video and comment on it, it helps us immensely with the algorithm. Until next time, I've been your host, The Grand Author. We'll see you soon.